Hey kids, what up? It's me, and I'm the biggest Pokemon fan around. However, I know many people want to do the hottest thing ever, which is make your own Pokemon Rom Hack. Now, many of you want to be cool, you want to have fans, you want to get liked on Poke Community and in YouTube and various sites. However, I know the easiest ways to make a ROM hack. And I have it nailed down to the T, so even you can make a ROM hack. And it's extremely easy. I mean, look here, ROM hacks are so popular. Type Pokemon R and in Google, and Pokemon ROM hacks is one of the results. So how do you make one? It's actually easy, like I said, and I'm going to show you this easy trick to make the ROM hack. So the first step is to get the tools. Now, as an MLG professional certified Smogon ROM hacker, I'm going to show you how to hack. But first off, I have to show you something important. The tools of the trade. You're going to need a computer running Windows. This can be anything from your Acer netbook to your Windows XP Dell desktop, whatever. It has to run Windows. This is the crucial part. You cannot use a Mac unless you have Boot Camp or something on here, or Parallels or some emulator, preferably an Intel Mac, because Power Macs have to emulate it, and you're going to want to have Windows. You can't use any other platform because Windows has the most ROM hacking tools, and I'll get into this in a second. You're also going to need some other tools. For example, you're going to have to get a Linkin Park CD, or since CDs aren't 2013 enough, you're going to need to get a Linkin Park MP3, or go on Xbox Music or something and stream Linkin Park. I mean, because you have to have Linkin Park playing while you're making the ROM hack. There are no exceptions. I mean, you might be some kid who thinks, hey, I can get away with playing that Rush CD. Look, Rush isn't 2014 enough. I mean, does this have songs such as Crawling, or One Step Closer, or Paper Cut, or Numb, or the best Linkin Park song, 99 Problems / Points of Authority / One Step Closer? That's the greatest Linkin Park song of all time. This doesn't have it. I mean, look. Look at the album art. Does it make you feel emo? I mean, does it make you feel like you have wounds that will not heal? Does it make you feel like you're crawling? No. Look, this does not look like Linkin Park. It's not Linkin Park. So, you shouldn't be listening to other music that isn't Linkin Park while you're making your ROM hack. And there are other things too. For example, let me show you another artist you're not supposed to listen to. Another artist you're not supposed to listen to while you're making your Pokemon ROM hack is Soundgarden. I mean, look at their songs. They're too deep for Pokemon ROM hacking. You're not supposed to play them while you're Pokemon ROM hacking. You're only supposed to play Linkin Park. Of course, there are some other artists that'll work, like All American Rejects, Lost Prophets, Fall Out Boy, basically anything that sounds like Linkin Park, and you're good to go. I heard even Limp Bizkit might do as well. You're also going to need a Pokemon emulator, a Game Boy emulator, and you're going to need an illegally downloaded Pokemon ROM. Now, of course, you could legally dump it, but ROM hacking, you have to illegally download it, or you should. I mean, even though it's against the law, who cares? Put your NWA CD on and be like, fuck the police. So now that I've got the major stuff out of the way, let me get to step 1. Grabbing your tools. Now that you've got your ROM and your emulator, you're going to need the tools. However, let me give you some suggestions on what not to use. Don't use IDA Pro, because that requires too much effort. I mean, it's a disassembler. It disassembles ARM assembly code or Z80 assembly code, and you don't want that, because after all, programming is too much work. I mean, let's be honest. Look at this process. Let me go to this. It's a program you have to buy, and look at all this stuff. What is an ARM? What is a Game Boy? What is an Intel 960? What is MOS Moss MC6809, and what's a Moss 6052? What is all this stuff? I don't know. And what is a Power PC, and what is a Itanium? What is this? I don't know. And did I mention, see how much this piece of crap costs? Oh, it costs money. They don't even say, because I'm guessing it costs too much money, which means you can't do that. And hex editors, what is hex? I don't know what hex code is, so I wouldn't use a hex editor. However, the easy way is to download Rom Hack tools. Now, all you have to do is go on Google and search Pokemon Rom Hack tools, and you'll find a ton. So all you have to do is search Pokemon Rom Hack tools, and you'll find tons of tools for Pokemon ROM hacking. You'll find stuff about advanced text, and if you notice, they all have advanced because they're pretty much, nearly all this stuff is for the early generations of Pokemon, and it's easy to see why. I mean, newer generations, they require too much skill to hack, especially Diamond and Pearl. Sure, there are a few Black and White, but look how few Black and White tool and Diamond and Pearl tools there are, and now most of them are for Diamond and Pearl, the original one. But they're a load for the last few generations, because that's the thing, you shouldn't be hacking newer generations, especially not Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Silver. You should stick with Generation 3, especially because you're probably using, especially considering how anything can handle it. So you're going to have to download the tools to hack Generation 3. So let me tell you step 2 on how to make your pro ROM hack. You gotta basically take a Pokemon story, like let's just say Mystery Dungeon, the anime, Pokemon X and Y, something like that. I mean, especially that 5,000 so many years ago plotline in X and Y, that was the deepest storyline ever. I mean, it's so amazing, just like Linkin Park. So you gotta take one of those things, and you gotta like change a few things around, like add yourself, insert character in it, add a few fake mod, add whatever, and then you'll have the storyline for the new fan game. And be sure to do this while you're listening to Linkin Park. And once you do that, you'll have an amazing storyline written down that does not feel like anything from fanfiction.net. You'll be the king of writing a plot for this. I guarantee it. And another thing I thought I'd throw up about this is that when you're writing your story, I prefer to also make references to other stuff you like, preferably Kingdom Hearts, Mega Man, Sonic, Mario, whatever. Be sure to have references too. But now the next step, because I flunked math class and forgot what number I was on. The next step is to get a name for your game. So basically, spin a wheel. You have to have Pokemon in the name. This is a rule. Every Pokemon fan game has to have it. And then you have to pick something like Pokemon, and you have to add a cool, edgy word like Guardians, Dark, Light, Mythical, Legends of... You have to have a gem in... You might want to have a gem in your game, so let's just say Pokemon Sapphire, Guardians of the Light, Guardians of the Light. Let me call my region something cool like Guardians of the Light Super Nintendo. Yes, or Guardians of the Light Crawling region, or Guardians of the Dark, no, I mean Legends of the Dark Mythical Acer. Okay, I'm Acer region, or Pokemon Acer region Rangers. You gotta think of a name like that. I could think all day thinking up good fan game names, but you have to pick a name that sounds amazing just like that. So the next step is to draw or find sprites. Now, to draw, It's easy. All you have to do is go on Google. Now I'm going to go back on Google and I'm going to search Pokemon. Now, for starters, all you gotta do is search Pokemon sprites on Bean Images. Pokemon sprite sheet. You don't even need to try, and you'll find Pokemon sprite sheets of all Pokemon. So, if you want to make sprites and you can't draw, you can just steal off of Google. Or you can type in your favorite Pokemon. Like, let me just say, you want a Lucario image? And of course, I'm gonna cut the video right here because here's the thing. I'm not responsible if you forget to turn safe search off when you're searching for Pokemon fan art. Because while you'll have to copy a lot, you should always turn safe search on because you never know what you'll see. But you get the idea of what I'm saying. Another thing to note is if you're trying to make, like, let's just say a trainer sprite, but you don't want to do it yourself in Microsoft Paint, it's okay, there's another way. You can go on DeviantArt and ask somebody to draw your sprite for you. And they'll do it, especially because spriting doesn't require much talent. Sure, your sprites will look out of place when the ROM hack is finally done, but it'll work. You'll eventually have the king of ROM hacks. And your sprites will look amazing. You can do the same for any fake Pokemon design. So now that you've got your storyline and your script down, now that you've got your fake Pokemon which look amazing, especially on DA, and now that you've got your sprites that might look out of place on the Game Boy, but who cares? Now that you've got all that stuff to add to your game, this is going to be easy. You just gotta go on Poke Community or another site and find tools. If you want to add some features to your game, like Gen 4 Pokemon, there's a tool for that. If you want to add some other stuff to your game, like day-night system, there's a tool for that. If you want to add more features, there's a tool for that. In other words, the long version is, there's a tool for that no matter what it is. So basically, all you have to do is you have to get tools and put more tools. And I mentioned to make tools like the map editor easy, so you can have no effort making a game whatsoever. And you can make a Pokemon game. Because these tools make it easy. You want to change a map, there's a map editor. Change a dialogue, there's a dialogue editor. And all these are as noob friendly as possible. So you can be listening to your Linkin Park music loud, and you can still be able to make an amazing ROM hack. And speaking of music, the final step you need is music. So now, composing music, you can do in many ways. You can use GarageBand or a pirated copy of Sony Acid or stuff like that. Or, here's an easier way. You go on Google and search insert song here, MIDI. So if you want a Kingdom Hearts MIDI, KINGDOM. Kingdom Hearts MIDI, bam. You can get Kingdom Hearts MIDI files. Or, here's what you do. You can get Linkin Park MIDIs, or other MIDIs from big artists, and you gotta put your Linkin Park songs in. So when you battle, let's just say, Crawling in My Skin could play, or when you're 1v1ing the final trainer, Points of Authority could play, or something like that. Because you have to have more Linkin Park in your game to make it better. I mean, it needs more Linkin Park no matter what you do. Now the final step is advertising your ROM hack. All you have to do is go on Poke Community, or YouTube, or some other website, and then advertise it. Or, you can go to Paint, and you also have to advertise it by, let's just say, drawing fan art. For example, I'm going to draw Lucario because I'm a king of DA. I'm going to get my pencil, These are the ears, I think. I'm gonna draw, like, I think this is how it is. I don't know. But either way, once you draw, like, a king, especially with a touchpad, because the touchpad is the most pro drawing tool ever, you can be the king of Pokemon Rom Hacks, especially if you put fan art. And then you have to, like, have Let's Players play your game, and once you do that, you can be the king of ROM hacking. And another thing I thought I'd mention about ROM hacking that you'll also want to practice doing, you also have to make sequels and milk it and release it in a beta, maybe never finish it, I don't know, but if you do those things, you can have the #1 Pokemon ROM hack of all time. So, here's how to make a Pokemon ROM hack, and you'll be the king of ROM hacking if you follow these steps. Enjoy, and now this is Pokemon Fan 420 signing off.